What's up to all my freelancers and creatives? This is Nathan with another episode of Freelance Jumpstart. And in this episode, we are going to get into how to set goals. Or really, I should say the right way to set goals. At the time of this recording, we are nearing the end of the year. And a lot of times at the end of the year, people start gearing up to set goals because they're thinking to themselves, new year, new me. I get to be able to move on and have a fresh start, as well as a fresh start to what I would like to accomplish in a calendar year. In just different conversations that I've had with my friends and other creative professionals, there's a lot of goal talk going on right now. A lot of people are just saying and writing out what they want to do and or accomplish in the next year. And to be honest, I see some great things that they are doing, but I also see some mistakes. And the reason I'm calling them mistakes is because there are things that I've done in the past when trying to set goals, and I ended up not reaching those goals because I wasn't looking at the accomplishment of the goals or what it would bring me in the right light. So what I'm getting at is setting goals is important, but also how you go about setting those goals is important to whether or not they are actually going to become a reality. So when it comes to goal setting, we're going to look at SMART goals, and SMART is an acronym to remember what I'm about to tell you right now. So when we talk about SMART goals, we're talking about specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound. So this would mean that you would use all those principles when developing a certain type of goal. When I first started my business, I remember thinking back, having an idea and saying that I want to start a business. That was my goal. My goal was somewhere before the end of the year, I will start a business. That was my thought. That was my thinking. And I noticed that it was so ambiguous in general that I wasn't really taking day by day action. And I really wish I had this framework back then. There are some things that I did previously that are important to know when looking to set a goal. Here's an example. So if you want to start a business, that is great. Of course, what type of business? Try to get specific as possible. What's the name of the business? You can write down possible names. You can also write down what type of business, what are the type of products you're looking to create, serve, what type of actions are you going to take? Just get a little bit specific. What type of business? Start asking questions. Start really diving into how specific can you get when you think of starting a business, right? Then you would move on to measurable. How would you know whether or not you starting a business is important or if you even should? Now, the thing that I did in the past was I added a quantity. I added some type of quantifiable number to really measure my levels of success. So when I first started freelancing, one of the first things I started was I said to myself, the year had already started, it had been halfway through the year. I said, if I can make at least $5,000, then I will go full steam ahead and start a business. If I can't reach that, then no. Now that I had an actual number, though there's different ways to go about getting that number, maybe I find one client for $5,000, or maybe I work with 10 clients for $500, whatever. I had a goal to really prove that if I wanted to do this, I needed to meet it. So it was measurable. Moving on to actionable, back when I set this goal, it was important because now I can start getting into what tactics, in a sense, can I take to move forward towards the measurable goal. So it might be something with my pricing. Maybe I need to change how my pricing is set up. Maybe I need to change how many clients I'm going to get. If I'm focused on getting one client for $5,000, my goal is reached. But what is going to be my play? Am I going to go for quantity in terms of low prices and a high volume of people? Or am I going to go for uniqueness, right? That I'm not like everyone else, but you should probably work with me and I can get a higher quality of clients and higher pay. What play was I going to do? That was something that I had to really think about and write out. What actions would I take to accomplishment? Could I go to a networking event to find clients? Can I go to conferences? What conferences are those? Those are all things that I can write down and actions that I can take that progress me towards my goal. Is it realistic? I feel like the realism of a goal is tied to measurable, right? So the more specific you are and the more specific you are when you talk about the measurement of the goal, this really affects if it's realistic or not. I didn't have a business at all. I had just learned how to do web design and graphic design, and I wanted to start freelancing. I set the goal of $5,000. That was a certain percentage of my annual income I was comfortable with. I could have said to myself, man, I'm going to start freelancing. I'm going to try as hard as I can. I'm going to make, 100K next year. I have never made 100K before, not in my day job, nor at where I was in my life at this point. This was like 10 years ago. I had never made that before. Is it really realistic to get to 100K just off of freelancing? And if it is, how many clients would I have to get to 10K? Would it be, I don't know, 2 clients at 50K? That's kind of, ambitious for a beginner. Or would it be something like, okay, I want to make 100K, so I'll charge each client $1,000. I need 100 clients. That's not realistic either. And lastly, time bound. In the past, I said I want to make $5,000 by the end of the year, and I don't care how many clients I need to get, but I want to make this amount. I gave myself the end of the year at the time was 6 months. More than enough time, but that goal, even though I somewhat did it on accident back then, it followed the SMART goal setting framework. So maybe you specifically have a goal. Maybe it's something you want to accomplish. The new year is upon us. You're looking forward to it. It doesn't matter if it's losing weight. It doesn't matter if it's becoming healthier. It doesn't matter if it's changing your diet. It doesn't matter if it is business. Maybe you do want to change your business, reinvent yourself, get a higher quality or higher grade of clients. I don't know what it might be, but whatever it is, the goal has to be SMART. So the more time you spend on the specificity of your goal and how you're going to measure your level of success, and going from there, what actions you're going to take, is it realistic, and you have to put a time limit on it. So no matter what idea it is, whether it's starting a new podcast, what are the amount of episodes you're going to make in a year? How many downloads do you want to try to get? How many platforms do you want to put yourself on, right? How are you going to measure success? Because a lot of times I think we set goals and we set them large and we set them high, looking to go viral, or we're looking to set the goal high, because if we set it so high, maybe we'll fall short and still reach a goal that we really wanted. That is really a formula for burnout. So get as specific as possible and ask yourself some real questions. And the key to all this is your level of honesty. I've had a couple of videos where I made and I talked about goals. I don't really think I was as honest with myself as I could have been. I should have been honest with myself to say, 4 months into the year, this goal is not going like I need it. I need to switch the parameters I set behind the goal, but I would charge full steam ahead and say, this is going to work. Now that's another thing. I think there needs to be some time that you reevaluate whether or not the goal you did is realistic or you have the right quantifiable number. You need to change it. If you're already in the midst of it and things aren't going the way you want to, right? If you have a goal to lose weight, let's just say 10 pounds, and you've worked out for 6 months and you've only lost 1 pound, you have to reevaluate how you're going about some things, because at this pace, you're not going to make it. So again, just give yourself the freedom to adjust when setting those goals. But again, that's a smart way to set it, not a formula for burnout. Thank you for taking the time to check out this episode. I greatly appreciate it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're listening on the podcast, feel free to subscribe, and you get weekly episodes like this. As I mentioned, we're nearing the end of the year, and there's a lot of things I have planned for the next year. But this episode was important because this has been my mentality when I am trying to set specific goals for myself. And I'm going to make sure that no matter what goal I have, I follow the SMART framework to make sure I'm accomplishing that goal. Well, until the next one, I will catch you later. See ya.